Last Friday night, we all watched as NFL Network's original series, NFL 100 Greatest, began, and they're counting down the 100 greatest characters of all time. Here's one that the list just wouldn't be the same without.
Maybe Broadway Joe. Joe name is a big one.
Dion's a pretty good guess.
Dion's good.
Find out it's NFL 100 Greatest Characters, and it continues Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern and only on NFL Network. Our guy, Will Selva's out in the newsroom. Do what you were born to do.
Hey, Will, what's up, baby? How you doing?
What up, fam? What's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
What's
I'll do
poppin'?
that in sync dance, Will.
Oh, my goodness.
I couldn't resist. I just had to say it like that. I know what I was doing. I did it for emphasis. Calm down, everybody. All's well.
Wow.
There's self-awareness here. The Cardinals are riding a 2-game winning streak, and just in time, they're welcoming a familiar face to their defense. That would be corner Patrick Peterson. Peterson is returning from a suspension that cost him 6 games for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reporting the punishment came from an attempt to manipulate or mask a result. Now, Arizona can certainly use him on defense, as it's given up 444 yards of total offense in the win over the Falcons. They ranked 30th in pass defense this season. Now, Peterson returning while another cornerback could end up missing some time. According to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport, Chiefs corner Kendall Fuller suffered what is believed to be a slight fracture in his thumb on Sunday. He's getting a second opinion on the injury just to be sure. He started 4 of 6 games this season. Interim head coach Bill Callahan saying the Redskins needed to run the ball more, and they did just that in the win over the Dolphins. Adrian Peterson rushed for 118 yards on 23 carries. The team as a whole rushing for 145 yards in the game, and doesn't sound like Callahan will stop feeding AD anytime soon.
I thought, by and large, the offensive line played well. You know, they got a new coach. You know, he's a little bit better than I am. And they had no penalties for the first time, so no question that was a huge improvement. But, you know, we ran the ball for over 140 yards, which was tremendous, you know, when you can go on the road and pound it and give up no sacks, no penalties. And I think only 1 TFL in the run game out of 30-some attempts. So I thought that was real a lot of positives came out of that.
And up next, the 49ers, which should note it had been 5,782 days since Bill Callahan last won as an NFL head coach. That, my friends, would be the longest drought for a head coach between 2 wins in the Super Bowl era. His Raiders beat the Ravens in 2003. Next on that list would be Triple G, Greg Williams, followed by Dick Vermeil.
I love it. Well, thank you, fam. And Triple G had a big win this last weekend, of course, against the Cowboys. But as we're putting to bed this past week, we've seen 6 weeks of football. There's something I think that we got to talk about that needs to change. I remember the first time I saw a ball carrier completely jump over a tackler. I think it was either Priest Holmes or maybe Jerome Simpson on the Bengals. But, you know, it's become extremely in vogue, especially for tight ends, to leap the tackle. It makes for a hell of a highlight to get you on all the shows. But this past week, Mark Andrews of the Ravens tried it against Cincinnati, and it went absolutely terribly. They lost the ball. The defender obviously knew it was coming. Guys, I think defenders know what's up with this. I think they're tired of being posterized. I think they see it on film, and when the tight ends come up, they back off, and then they jack them up in the air as the Bengals did there. So I tried to think of a way to convey this message to maybe some of the other tight ends, and I went down a wormhole of some of our favorite NBC stars from yesteryear, and suddenly I'm looking face-to-face with David Hyde Pierce, Deborah Messing, Helen Hunt, who back then would tell you maybe some things that you needed to know. All right, pop quiz. You think it's cool to get high? Think again. We see it every week. Your favorite tight end's got the ball. He's headed upfield, and then he gets high above the turf, only to get caught in midair and blam, slam back down to earth. They get tackled, they get laughed at. Even worse, the drive can end up dead. It's not cool. And if your friends tell you to get high, then guess what? They're not your friends. You see, the tacklers have been being cool. They're going to school, and they know it's coming. But I know this. In life, you can't just leap over your problems. You got to confront them. Choosing to get high is choosing for that play to end. And believe me, that end, it's not tight.
It's not tight.
I think it's an important message.
That's one of my favorite things you've ever done.
That was the greatest segment. You have to realize we didn't know that was coming. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen on this show.
You gotta confront your problems.
Oh
not leap
my
over
God.
them.
Confront them head on.
Like that. What a message.
If your friends are telling you to get high, they're not your friends.
They're not your friends.
You need new friends. And it's really cool. Everyone's doing it. It's not cool. What's cool is staying in school, staying on the ground. That's what I'm saying.
Mark,
I don't know why you're laughing at my resume. I used to work for the NBC. Everything. I was proud of that work, right?
Oh, amazing.
You
Everything
hope,
from
Bo.
the backwards chair, you nailed it.
The backwards, it just felt it in the moments. The backwards chair is kind of cool.
Got to keep it real with the kids.
If you put the backwards chair, all of a sudden it's immediately 1990, and you were the coolest guy in the world. I mean, that felt good. We should put these chairs backwards.
That's the substitute teacher.
You just could saddle up on these things like this. All of a sudden, I'm Kirk Cameron, and I'm telling you, stay away from power lines. You know what I mean? It's the best.
We love the message. It's brilliant.
talk about it.
But you talk about it. Is it an actual concern that you have that this fad has sort of worn itself out?
100%. I think the safeties know, and I'm not joking. I think that they know that the highlight is coming. Go ahead, Peter. You're literally going like this, like Randy Moss with his hand up because he wants to talk. What do you got?
When you get the six-pack, you cut up the plastic because the dolphins might swallow.
That's the thing. You get caught in those things. Exactly
It's
right.
ducks.
Nate, you ever
Devlin
jump
Hodges
over a
would
guy?
not appreciate that joke.
Ducks, a dolphin.
You ever jump over a safety, Nate? What are you laughing at?
The way you started it, it's not cool to get high.
It's not.
The guy jumping.
Just ask the cast from Cop Rock. They will tell you it is not cool to get high.
But then
any
at the
sense.
end, it's true. It's not cool to get high. But
They
then At
know.
the very end, he said, "What did you say?" In that end,
It
believe me,
ain't tight.
It's not tight. Because the tight end is the position. It was a play on words. It came to
It's
me.
one of my favorite things you've ever done on
Thank
the
you
show.
very
Tweet
much.
us your thoughts
Oh,
at
my
GMFB. Up next, we're going to talk about these Lions and these Packers. Nate played for the Lions. They get a loss. Whose side is he on? We'll ask him. And did a tight end have the fanciest footwork of the week? Hopefully they didn't hurdle or
That's
feel the
logo
wrath
right
of
there.
Kyle Brandt.
Yeah, don't hurdle safeties. It's not cool to get high.
if we don't win an Emmy for that, I
So what's
quit.
with this energy drink? Should I drink multiple ones? or
Yeah,
should
just
I be
over and over, tons
Be
of them.
careful.
Yes. The thing about quicksand is, you want to spread your arms and get a stick
Quicksand was a thing.
everywhere. It's either quicksand or power line.